So half of the customer experience we give today to our customers are managed by humans, and half of the customer experience we give today is managed by AI. So we create this AI agent. It's called Coatue. Our customer was so happy. Customer was, oh man, thank you very much. That's amazing. Coatue, you deserve an increase in your salary, and God bless you and your family. The future is about relationship between humans because AIs are going to do anything. Our intelligence is the best thing we have in the universe. No, intelligence is a commodity. I say that we're building an interplanetary payment network starting in Brazil. So first Brazil, then the whole planet Earth, and then other planets. And initially the reaction, oh, that's crazy. It's a joke. It's pretty funny. But I really mean it because when you start thinking like in terms of 10,000 years, 10,000 years, human civilization is going to be interplanetary. That's for sure.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fintech Leaders, coming to you from New York City. I'm your host, Miguel Armaza, and I'm a co-founder of Gilgamesh Ventures, a venture capital fund that backs early-stage fintech entrepreneurs in the US, Canada, and Latin America. If you enjoyed this conversation, I invite you to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows so more people can learn about fintech leaders. You can also reach out to me over LinkedIn or Twitter. In this episode, I sit down with Luis Silva, CEO and founder of Cloudwalk, where they are building an interplanetary payment network. Headquartered in Brazil, Cloudwalk has now expanded internationally, is profitable, and recently crossed annual revenues of over $400 million. They are backed by Valor Capital, Coatue, DST, FIS, Plug and Play, the Hive, and many more. In this episode, we discuss the benefits of extreme long-term thinking, why you should think in thousands of years, not just in quarters or decades, an optimistic take on AI, why Luis is convinced this technology will help humans become better humans and improve society, how treating Gen AI as an ally can help you massively accelerate and improve productivity, from humble beginnings in a small town in Brazil to building a global fintech giant, and a lot more. Luis, welcome to Fintech Leaders. I understand you're calling all the way from Sao Paulo today.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be with you, Miguel. Thanks very much to invite me.
Thank you. I'm truly delighted, Luis. I want to start by talking about long-term thinking. I know that's important to you. And even you're one of the few members of an interesting foundation. It's called the Long Now Foundation. And that foundation encourages extreme long-term thinking, not just thinking in 5 or 10 years, but thousands. Why is this important to you?
So the Long Now Foundation was created by Stuart Brand. It's a guy who wrote a bunch of pretty cool books about long-term thinking, about civilization, society. And we have thousands of members who likes to discuss and think about long-term thinking. And what are the impacts of technology, storytelling, the tools we have, the society, and how can we think around 10,000 years? Usually we think quarter over quarter. But when you try to think about, okay, how is going to be the company, my company, Cloudwalk, in the next 10,000 years? It's a nice exercise because it forces you to think different consequences of the technology you're working, the society you're working on, the planet you're working on, how you're going to survive in the long term, you as human, you as company, what kind of evolutionary steps you're going to see in the long run, and the consequences of that. I think this is the most important. When you're thinking long term, that forces you to take better decisions. I'd say that's one of the key things. How to take better decisions, I think starts thinking long term, and by first principles. I think these two things, they are kind of correlated. Elon Musk said, okay, let's think about first principles, using first principles, right? I also use that and also long-term thinking. These two things together, I think it's pretty important, not just for founders, but for the whole society, I would say.
Yeah, and I think many people have learned about the Long Now Foundation because of this 10,000 year clock, right? That is being funded in, I think, is a Jeff Bezos location in Texas, right? So let's zoom in a little bit on your thinking about Cloudwalk. When you step back and started thinking about the future of Cloudwalk in the next 10,000 years or less than that, what are some of the, I guess, learnings? What did that trigger for you?
So usually I say, okay, how Cloudwalk is going to be the next 20 years? So Cloudwalk is a fintech company. I say that we're building an interplanetary payment network starting Brazil. So first Brazil, then the whole planet Earth, and then other planets. And initially the reaction, oh, that's crazy. It's a joke. It's pretty funny. But I really mean it, because when you start thinking like in terms of 10,000 years, human civilization is going to be interplanetary. That's for sure. That's the first thing. The second thing is, okay, in an interplanetary civilization, what is money? How you're going to control resource, how people are going to exchange value with each other. And having this in mind, you start to think and ponder about these like great questions. And then if you try to get that back to the next 20 years, things become super easier. So the next 20 years, you want to build a global payment network. Today, you're providing like payment solution together with banking solution. For small SMBs in Brazil, we have more than 1 million customers, crossing $400 million annualized net revenue. But usually I say, okay, you're building $1 trillion company on the next 20 years, and it's going to be interplanetary. And I really mean it, because the time horizon is 10,000 years. As one of the members of Long Now Foundation, how can you see ahead and how is going to be society? How society is going to be transferring money, and how can you use technology to improve society? That's also really important, because as you were discussing before, the whole financial system, the banking system was created using mainframes. Before that, paper, and then mainframes, fax machines, and really slow, bunch of errors. I think operators from that era, still today we have a bunch of banks using mainframes, central banks using mainframes. It's pretty hard to operate, and money moves like really slowly, right? With a bunch of errors. When you think the next generation of tools and fintechs that are creating the next payment rails, the next ledgers, the next banking infrastructure, this technology is going to be based on blockchain, it's going to be based on the AI, it's going to be based on stuff that moving money at the speed of light, faster and faster. And all this technology is going to improve society, because if money moves faster between sellers, consumers, the whole society improves at the economic level. So we need to reduce the error when you're moving money, and you need to increase the speed, the throughput of moving money. That improves society at whole. So this first principle thinking, how can you improve economy in society? You need to move money faster and faster without error. And that's exactly what you are doing at Cloudwalk. We are starting Brazil. I'm Brazilian. Brazil has one of the biggest fintech markets in the whole planet. Now we're expanding to United States and pretty soon to other countries.
How do we avoid relying on the mainframes of tomorrow? And what I mean by that is a topic that comes up often in podcast conversations or offline conversations that I have with fintech folks. Everyone is trying to future-proof their companies, right? And so how do we avoid that the technology that you're utilizing today to build Cloudwalk does not stop the company in 40 years once there's new technology and you can upgrade it, I guess?
I think the simple answer is look at nature, right? So the planet Earth right now has 4.5 billion years, right? Something like that. And nature, it's here since forever, since like the first day on the planet Earth. And nature has this, we can call platform or the software that like keep the resources working between animals, the vegetable kingdom, and everything work in a kind of harmonic state. How can you look at nature and create technology that it's similar to nature and can evolve over time and be like resilient, right? The resilience is the name, is one of the things we need to focus on. The mainframes that we have today, they were created, they are all centralized. They were created in different era with different problems. A couple of years ago, like we had the invention of Bitcoin, ledgers, blockchain, and all this stuff. And now we have a bunch of companies building on top of these ideas. Blockchain, we build on top of blockchain. We create our own blockchain network, by the way. And we are trying to see, okay, how these blockchain networks are going to be in the future. What we're seeing right now is, especially our central bank, the Brazilian central bank, that's doing great work, by the way. They create their own blockchain as well right now in Brazil. And I see a future where we are going to have centralized networks, transferring money, centralized blockchain networks. At the same time, we're going to have centralized blockchain networks from central banks. And all these networks are going to be connected. They're going to be together. So this is going to be the new rails of money for the next 10,000 years. That's for sure. It's not going to be just centralized databases that you cannot attest or verify information. It's going to be a mix of centralized ledgers based in blockchain and centralized ledgers. Having this in mind, how are going to be the payment of the future? How is going to be the banking solutions of the future, the lending solutions of the future? And looking, like studying these ideas, is that what we use as inspiration to build our technology and to evolve on that and to avoid this pitfall. Okay, how can we avoid to be the next mainframe? The next 4 years, as you said, because I think first principles, they stay kind of forever, You're talking about Gilgamesh, right? Yeah, it was a really awesome analogy about, okay, how Gilgamesh, how can we look at the story of Gilgamesh and compare that to entrepreneurs building companies and fighting, going to places that no one wants to go and growing and telling stories to others, inspiring others to do their stuff. And these stories, they have thousands of years. I'd say dozens of thousands of years. So stories are pretty powerful as well. And I think the story we're creating, building right now is this story of, okay, everything was centralized. Then we had a bunch of tech folks who created blockchain, centralized technologies. The centralized folks, central bankers, they look at this, oh, this is cool. We can use that to improve the efficiency of our process. And now everyone's kind of going to the same direction, trying to work together and connect these networks. That changed the evolutionary step you're going towards everything centralized or everything's centralized. It's like the middle, right? It's a mix.
You mentioned the Brazilian central bank's digital real project, and that's DREX for those listening. D as in diamond, REX, DREX. Super interesting. Super interesting. Do you think, let's talk a little bit about it, but do you think this has the potential to become a global standard for other central banks, other governments to start adopting?
For sure. That's for sure. I think that the work you're doing here in Brazil, the central bank work that we are seeing here in Brazil, it's awesome. We are in the cutting edge of technology. We are using blockchain, EVM. That's one of the virtual machine that was created for Ethereum. So our central bank is using EVM. It's following all the lessons that the centralized community learned over the years. And now it's with that knowledge is trying, okay, let's create this bridge with all other banks, other entities in the financial system in Brazil. And let's use what is the best from both worlds, right? The best on centralized is privacy. How can we put privacy on the EVM and scale that to hundreds of millions of users as they did with Pix, right? So definitely Brazil is doing the best work at the tech level on instant payments, blockchain, this kind of stuff. from the central bank, by the way. Central bank's pushing most of these ideas. And it's pretty unique. I don't see that happening in other central banks. If you say, okay, our central bank knows what is EVM, cryptography, privacy, keys, NARCs, all this stuff that's pretty technical. The Roberto Campos, the president of Central Bank, he knows that. He's a super smart guy. It's a brilliant guy, by the way. And he's pushing like Brazil to be, okay, we are working with a ledger that supports EVM, and we are inviting other financial institutions to use Drex and having like the stable coin, their balance sheets. It's pretty unique. What is happening right now is other central banks from other countries are coming to Brazil and look at the Brazilian case and, okay, what you're doing, because it seems like pretty cool. It's working. So we are exploring new ideas. So Brazil is leading this revolution. We are at the forefront of that.
Yeah, we were very fortunate at Gilgamesh Ventures. We hosted our summit a couple months ago in Sao Paulo. And one of our keynotes was Otávio Damaso, deputy head of regulation for the Central Bank of Brazil. And essentially, we had fintech leaders from the US and Europe present, banking leaders as well. They were blown away. So we all have to be watching very closely. I want to step back a little bit, Luis, and talk about what inspires you, because you have an interesting background. You come from a small town outside of Sao Paulo. I've heard you talk in other interviews that you did not grow up with a lot of resources, right? You grew up in a poor household. Maybe take us through your beginnings and what inspired you to become a builder.
So I was born in a pretty humble family, and I didn't attend college, by the way. I just did I was studying at public schools. I did high school and then jumped from high school to do my first company at 21 years old. That was 2005. So you can guess what is my age right now, getting to 40 pretty soon next year. And I remember that one of the things that completely changed my life was when my daddy bought a computer. It was like a pretty old computer. It was Pentium 200 megahertz. And I was kind of, I want to learn how to use this computer, and I want to learn how to program this computer. And my daddy was the guy saying, Luis, this is the future. Computers are the future. You need to learn. Here's your computer. And he bought this computer, I remember, 36 installments, because you're super poor. We didn't have a car, telephone. But my daddy got some savings, and the next thing I'm going to buy to this house is going to be your computer, because this is the future. And I was, yeah, good. So let's learn this computer. And when I started to learn the computer and learn programming languages, and then I got to the internet around 99, 2000, I got completely addicted by that. And for me, it was a new universe. Okay, I can create my own programs. I can create reality. I have all this knowledge that I can search on the internet. This is crazy. I don't need to get books, go to the library. And I used to go to library, buy magazines to learn stuff. The first time I connect to the internet, no, I can't learn anything. For me, it was kind of mind-blowing that feeling, man, I can do whatever I want, because with this stuff, internet, I can't learn anything. That was my first reaction. So I got pretty good at computers, kind of learning how to code basic software, then C, assembly, C++, bunch of different languages. Around 2005, I got hired by a software house company, small company. It was my first job. And I became one of the best software engineers at that company. I stayed just 6-7 months on this company. And then I founded my own company, my own software company. That was 2005. And after that, I learned, okay, I didn't know at the time what is entrepreneur or founder, or I want to make money. It was not that. I just want to create cool software. I just want to be a builder, because I can't learn anything. And I can use all this knowledge and all this software I can create to sell to others. And I can buy stuff for me and to my family. I can buy a new house. I can buy a car. I can buy better food. I can buy a PlayStation, right? You know, when you don't have resource, that's the basic stuff, at least in my case, that I really want to buy. I got the bug of entrepreneurship in around 2007. Okay, let's create another company. This is pretty cool. And another company. So I founded several companies. Some went bankrupt. Some I made a bunch of profit and got money. Others, like Cloudwalk, are growing insanely fast. I invested as angel, different companies as well in the past. Around 2014, I moved to as self-made entrepreneur. I made some money. Then, okay, let's learn more. Let's see what is the next big thing. And then I moved to Silicon Valley. Everyone was talking about the area, Silicon Valley. And I studied at Singularity University there. I was invited to be there 3 months at NASA Ames Research Park. And that blew my mind the second time. The first was when my dad gave me a computer. The second was arrive at Silicon Valley, going to NASA Ames Research Park and talk with hackers while Peter Diamandis, Peter Norvig. For me, it was kind of, these guys, I used to read books from them and learn. And now they are talking with me, sit at the table, having conversations and teach me exponential technology. What is the future of society in the next 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000 years? And what kind of technology are going to have there? It completely changed my life again. So I see these big evolutionary steps, you know, in my journey. Yeah, I learned a lot around 2016, come back to Brazil, start to work like I was the founder of Cloudwalk, but then I became like the CEO of Cloudwalk. I invested more money at Cloudwalk, a bunch of more money, invited other funds to invest with me at Cloudwalk, but with a vision, okay, how can we grow this company to be the next big thing at global scale, exponential level, right? Because that's exactly what I learned in Silicon Valley Bay Area. To build companies should be global companies, not just local companies. Brazil is a big market. It's huge. Latin, even bigger. But the whole planet's even bigger. And the whole universe is even bigger, right? So that's kind of things I learned, how to think big and dream big. Takes the same amount of effort. If you dream small and you dream big, same amount of effort. It's a pretty important lesson. And then around 2018, end of 2018, Cloudwalk got a Series A. In 2019, we started growing insanely fast. Like really, really fast. We launched a brand called Infinite Pay. That basically was, okay, all the ideas we were working in the past about how to move money faster, blockchain, payment processing, ledgers. We decided to get all this technology. Okay, let's use this technology to improve the life of our customers. We charge a fair price, give the best customer experience, and the best product, the best design. And we launched that June of 2019. And then the rest of this is history, because we became one of the fastest growing fintechs in the whole planet, not just in Brazil. But it was a journey, right? From the first computer up to Cloudwalk growing really fast. It was a journey, but I think these key moments. My dad gave me a computer. I went to Silicon Valley and learned about long-term thinking and big thinking. And then, I learned, how to use technology to improve society. These 3 things was like, they're all connected, and they're what drives me to do more and more.
Luis, I know a lot of people who got their computer around that time, and they didn't always use it to kind of learn and create, but you did, and you're self-taught, which is something interesting. If you were talking to a room of teenagers, kids who are going through a similar journey and they want to self-teach themselves, programming languages, how did you approach this? What maybe take us through that.
It's a dangerous question because I'm a misfit, right? Remember, I didn't went to college. I didn't follow the formal, traditional, standard path. You go to high school, college, you get a job in a big firm, and you grow. Then eventually you got, I want to create my company, and then you create your company. My path was completely different, random, chaos. But based in this principle, I can learn anything I want because there's stuff called internet. And by the way, all the knowledge of the universe is on the internet, right? So my first advice is trust yourselves. And because I'm old, the society is old. Like the people who created the educational system, society as whole, like I'm old, becoming old, 40 years old. So it's old for these Gen Z kids. It's pretty old. But trust yourself, and you are here to create the new educational system, the new platforms, the new companies, and to do that, you're not going to do that learn or behaving the way the old folks want you to behave, right? You need to learn in new platforms. You need to learn at TikTok, Snapchat, in your communities, your friends, create this community of learning. It's pretty important. And trust your instinct, because these kids are insanely smart. The young people are insanely smart. Every time I talk with some young folks, I got, man, these kids are becoming smarter over time, and they have so much energy. But sometimes they say, oh, I'm doing this college I don't like because my family wants me to do that. I want to work in this consultants company, whatever, and say, man, what are you doing? Create a company, create new technology, work with great people, do something that improves society, because you can do that. So my second advice is, learn as much as you can about technology and how it's going to be society in the next 10,000 years. Get this direction, North Star, and build with cool people, build with your friends, build with people you enjoy. Have a fun life, because you don't have so much time. Like usually we live around 5 years, 9 years, sometimes 100 years. It's a pretty short time compared with the age of the universe. Usually they say, the age of the universe is 15 billion years old. But now they're saying, no, it's not 50, it's 30. Maybe it's more, right? James Webb Telescope. And we just have 100? Man, it's a tiny point compared to the age of the universe. So make this time point the best you can. It should be fun. It should improve your family, your society, your community as a whole. And trust your gut instinct. Because usually in school, they say to not trust your gut instinct. We have this formal educational system that try to create robots. But we have news, right? We created the robots ourselves right now with AI and all this stuff. So at the end of the day, what really matters is your creativity, how to work together for other humans. Because all this intelligence that usually is pushed to you at school, you need to record that, you need to say this, man, we don't need that anymore. AIs are here. They can do better than us. If they can do better than us, what is to be human at the end of the day, right? So I think kids who leverage human qualities, that it's pretty hard to, especially right now to AIs, to have some qualities. I think these kids are going to be the future, and definitely are going to be a super much better society in the next 10,000 years, the next 100 years, because I really trust the kids, the next generation. Sometimes there is some noise, but I like history, and you see every generation, it's better than the previous one. Everyone is better than the previous one. Sometimes we have some problems, but we keep evolving history. The human history is pretty beautiful, and I'm sure. So trust yourself and try to learn as much as you can, and have fun. It should be fun, Otherwise, it doesn't really matter.
It's funny. Take it to a little bit of an extreme, but I don't think too much. It's almost as if the recent developments of especially Gen AI are turning intelligence into a commodity, right? Because everyone has this super intelligent system in their pocket, but humanity, being human, is more valuable than ever. Is that a little bit how you think about it?
Oh, that's exactly right. So usually I say that AIs are going to help humans, are going to teach humans how to be better humans. Because, I don't need to do all this boring stuff that I was taught at school. I can do stuff I really want, and I have passion and love about it, and I can leave the AI to do everything to it. Yes. So it's a revolution, right? And you see the kids doing exactly that. They get the AI assistant, they start to talk to the AI assistant to do their homework. because they don't need to do homework. Like, doesn't really matter. So the first thing they do, okay, let the AI do all the homework, all the shit I don't want to learn, and let me focus on music, on art, on my friends, on have better relationships. That's what exactly they do. And that's exactly the future. The future is about relationship between humans, because AIs are going to do anything. Our intelligence is the best thing we have in the universe. No, intelligence is a commodity. If the models we have, the large language models we have right now, they're the first version. Imagine 2-3 years, they're going to have AGI. And in the AGI time, like, okay, I don't need to do anything. What really matters? That's the biggest question, right? And I think these kids, they know already. It's their friends having fun, using the technology to create cool stuff. That's what really matters. That is what should be human, right? Have a fun time and spread knowledge, tell stories, great stories that improve society as a whole, not bad stories, right? And I think it's AGI, it's one of the best things that can happen for humanity. Of course, there's a bunch of danger sometimes, but I trust that humans, and especially the kids, the new generation, are going to use that to create super cool. They are doing that already. They're creating super cool stuff. If you want to know what is really happening with AI on the wild, talk with the kids using AI, not us using AI. We use AI completely different from the kids. If you see a kid using AI, you're going to be, what the fuck, you know? There's this viral video right now on TikTok. It's a Brazilian kid, I think 7 years old kid, and he's talking with Alexa and asking Alexa to help him with the homework, but the mother is not at home, or it's another place at the home, and the kid is talking, oh, please Alexa, help me to do this homework, but my mother cannot listen that. And Alexa helped the kid, you know, and the kid got the answer, finish the homework. So that represents how the kids are going to use the AI, because homework's boring. You don't need to do homework. You need to think for yourself. You need to learn how to think by first principles, how to have a great relationship, how to be a better person, how to have emotional intelligence. All this other stuff you can do, AIs can do. So I think this is one of the biggest things you're going to get from this AI revolution is be better humans, that's for sure.
Yeah, the whole concept of homework is going to have to be updated. Speaking of AI, Luis, how are you applying it in the context of Cloudwalk? Maybe you can take us through your main products and also tell us how this new tools, AI tools are helping you.
So we have, in Brazil right now, we have 1 million customers. These customers are sellers, and mainly they use our product to accept payments online or physical payments through smartphone or payment hardware, and banking solutions. So they have a bank account, they can borrow money, they can pay stuff, they can do bill payment. So we serve these customers with this product, this set of products. It's a platform. We call it a financial platform for SMEs and small sellers. We are number 1 in customer experience in Brazil. So in Brazil, we have several research companies who give some rates to customer experience. We are number 1 in Brazil. And we got to the number 1 position using a mix of AI and humans. So half of the customer experience we give today to our customers are managed by humans, and half of the customer experience we give today is managed by AI. So we create this AI agent. It's called Coatue. It's a pun with Cloudwalk, because the Cloudwalk's an English word, and in Brazil, every time you go to a place, they say, oh no, that's a Coatue, whatever, Cloudwalk. So, okay, let's create our AI agent, and it's going to be named Cloud, because everyone calls us in Brazil Cloud, so it's going to be Cloud. And we created Coatue using large language models. We use OpenAI as well, but also we fine-tune our own models inside the Cloudwalk. And we have a huge data sets of knowledge base from transactional, QIC, a bunch of stuff, and we mix everything. So Cloud is kind of self-aware and can help the customers. And Cloud is one of the best person on the customer support team. the ratings of cloud is top 3%. So he is one of the best. He's even best than some humans. It is evolving pretty fast and serving like millions of customer support interactions every month. The cool thing that one day I was watching Coatue serving a customer. So customer had a problem. Oh, where is my money? Didn't receive my money. How can you help me? And Coatue was engaging and talk with, because we don't tell the customer there, talk with AI agent. For the customer, it's really human called Coatue. And Coatue was helping, and Coatue fixed the problem of the customer, like really fast. And our customer was so happy. Customer was, oh man, thank you very much. That's amazing. Coatue, you deserve increase your salary, and God bless you and your family. At that point, we got a conversation and we shared to the whole Slack chain in the company, and everyone starts to think, okay, who are the family from Coatue, you know? To us, we start to call this the Blade Runner moment inside the Gen AI stuff you're using. And it was pretty intriguing because they start to, okay, if this silicon agent that you're training through large language models and all the cool stuff is behaving more human and being better and like human, and customers, they think this is human. So who are the family of cloud? It's a very important question. So that's a nice story. The other area you use AI is fraud prevention. So we're saving around $1 billion annualized losses that you would have without AI. So we use a big pipeline of AI stuff to avoid fraud, especially because we want to pay the salaries as fast as possible. We want to pay them in a couple of seconds. In Brazil, we have instant payments, right? So with instant payments comes instant fraud. So how can you avoid instant fraud? And so we basically are using these two in production right now, scaling that. But also are working super cool stuff. You're working AI managers. We say we have a bunch of agents inside the company working already, but we want to create a manager that's better than any human and just leave the developer designers to do the cool stuff, you know, and let the boring stuff for the AI manager.
So could you envision a whole division reporting to an AI agent within the company?
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. We are a couple of quarters from that, by the way. So I don't know how I'm going to tell the investors at the board, by the way, but that's exactly what you're doing. We're calling the overlord, the Cloudwalk overlord. That's what you're doing.
And Luis, how does this affect your product velocity? I know this is important to you at Cloudwalk. Maybe talk about how you think of launching multiple products and then doing it at a fast, reliable pace.
Yeah. So we try to get shit done, get the shit done and think by first principles. That's like true thing. And we move fast. So we have around 500 people and $400 million in annualized revenue, growing like high double digits and profitable. And if you compare like $400 million profitable, high double digits, 500 people, it's pretty rare. We are in the top 1% in the whole planet right now. And that's because we have this concept of, okay, move fast, try different experiments, use AI as much as possible. We see AI as an ally, as a tool that everyone should use at the company. So we pay ChatGPT Plus to everyone in the company. Not just pay, we tell everyone to use ChatGPT at the company. And after they learn how to use ChatGPT, to fine-tune their own models, and then to create their own agents, and then work together to create a super overlord agent. That's the way we push the company. And we saw reports saying that AI increased the productivity around 50%, sometimes more for engineers. I think it was from BCG or something like that. And over time, it's going to increase much more. You're seeing like, we should have right now around 2,000 people, but we have 500 humans plus 10 different AI agents. These different AI agents, I'd say they represent 600 people easily. And it's going to get better and better. It's exponential curve. I wouldn't be surprised that the biggest companies in the next 20 years are going to be companies with like less than 1,000 people working together with AGIs or proto AGIs. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's going to change the way we manage companies, create companies. Today, to the founders or to the folks who want to be founder, create companies, you with 2-3 folks plus AI right now, you can create cool products, deliver products, test hypothesis, and start to grow. And you're seeing that over and over again, and it's becoming better and better, especially because the young people, the kids, they use the technology in a much better way than me as an old guy. So I'm seeing that over and over again, and it's the future. One of the metrics I use all the time is revenue per employee and gross profit per employee. That's the function we optimize. How can you be better than anyone in the industry at gross profit per employee, at revenue per employee? Right now in Brazil, we are 4 to 5 times better than any other peer here in Brazil. But it's just the beginning. You're in the first seconds of our journey. We want to be hundreds of times better than anyone else. And it's a serious question. How can you be 100 times more efficient than a competitor? The only answer is you need to be using proto AGIs together with humans. There's no other way. Doesn't really matter. So, and that's why you're so involved in the AI revolution that's happening.
Luis, before we run out of time, 2 things. So you are, and I think you've mentioned this briefly, you're in the process of expanding beyond Brazil, beyond Latin America, which is something I love. You are thinking, how do I crack the US market? And this is coming up soon. How do you approach that? And I hope you're not the only non-US company thinking about this. We need more, especially from Latin America. But it's not easy, right? How do you plan to really crack this code?
Yeah, US is a big market, and we are launching US first quarter. And basically what you're bringing to US, it's a mix of instant payments. In Brazil, we have instant payments with Pix. US is beginning with FedNow. Now US is learning what is instant payments, what the consequence for the economy, how that whole stuff evolves, and it evolves like really fast. So we're bringing a combination of instant payments, tap to pay. Tap to pay is a technology that transforms your smartphone in a hardware that accepts NFC payments, and AI. So also this is patched with AI agent that helps you to sell more and spend a better way. And eventually it's going to manage the whole business for you. Our AI agent is going to, okay, I can do all the payment stuff for you, and you can just focus on what you really like to grow your business and do cool stuff, build cool stuff. So these 3 things are packaging in an app that will launch first quarter next year in US. And we see that like we have a bunch of problems in US right now. One of the problems is inflation and interest rates. These are pretty high in US right now. Folks, they don't have experience with that. Most of folks in US, because the last time that happened was around 70s, the 80s. But in Brazil, we have been facing that since forever. Since I was a kid, we're fighting inflation. We had insanely high interest rates. And because we always had that, the solutions and the fixes, the products we created, they were created to fix some of these pains. So as we have high inflation, high interest rate, I need to give faster cash flow to our customer. And they really like that because with inflation, you need to get to move money as fast as possible to buy the next stuff from our supplier and sell to your consumer, your customer. US, we didn't have that. US was 0 interest rates or pretty low interest rate. Doesn't really matter if you had our money in the bank account because money is $1 in 5-10 years, but now change it, right? So I think this combination of instant payments in AI is going to be pretty powerful because it's going to help the sellers who are facing most of the consequence of high inflation and high interest rate. These folks on the streets, small vendors, they're really in a bad position with this high inflation, high interest rates that's happening in US. And this is the pain we fix. That's the biggest pain our customer have in US. We know that already, and that's exactly the pain you're fixing for our customer. Of course, in getting a beautiful payment product together with a beautiful instant payment AI solution, but the pain is, okay, high interest rates, high inflation, These folks, their money they're selling is valued less and less over time. So how can you fix that for that? That's it.
Luis, before I let you go, what is your message to those founders that are just getting started or are thinking of getting started in 2024?
I think you're going to have the best time of your life, but also you're going to have the worst time of your life. Most of the time is going to be like eating glass every day. And it's going to be painful. It's going to be awful. You're going to be alone. It's going to be hell on earth almost every day. But sometimes it's going to be so fun that you're going to think, man, that's the best life possible, planet Earth. So learn how to manage that and have fun, because that's exactly what's going to be. It's going to be the worst time and it's going to be the best time ever. And if you take care of yourself and your family and have a little bit of fun over like on the journey, because it's a long journey, everything's going to be so much better. So that is the best advice possible I can give to the next year founders. Have so much fun, take care of yourself, and trust that the journey, it's high and lows. It's not going to be fun all the time. It's not going to be hell on earth all the time. It's going to be a mix. This mix is more hell on earth. Definitely is going to be much more days on hell on earth. But eventually you got to use it if you take care of yourself and think about how can you improve society. We have godlike powers right now with technology we have today, So think about how to use this godlike powers to improve the state of society and the planet.
Luis, what a privilege. Thank you for inspiring so many people, and thank you for an inspiring conversation.
My pleasure, and thank you very much for awesome and great questions. It was one of the podcasts I have most fun so far. Thank you, Miguel.
Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this great episode with Luis Silva, CEO of Cloudwalk. If you want more interviews, make sure to subscribe, follow, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows. It helps and means a lot. And if you have any suggestions or thoughts about the show, just drop me a line on Twitter or LinkedIn. Signing off till next week, I'm your host, Miguel Armaza.